So here I'm gonna type the phone number. I'm gonna here type a phone number, and then let's also display something else. Let's display the email address. So below the phone number, I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna paste it below, and then I'm gonna display the email address. I'm gonna say here email, and then here I'm gonna type an email. Next, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna display a few images from customers, and this section is gonna be called Instagram. So below this div, here, specifically here, we want here to create again this let me copy this, and this is the end of this. So here it should be here. Let me paste this, and then let me close the tag, and then inside what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna display images. First I'm gonna here say h5, and I'm gonna again say margin, class, padding, bottom 2, and then I'm gonna say Instagram. And this section is gonna contain images. I'm gonna just display a few small images. So here I'm gonna say div, and then these images will be displayed in rows and columns. Therefore I'm gonna create another class called raw, and inside that class I'm gonna create images. I'm gonna say image, here image, and for the first image I'm gonna say source is equal to, and then assets /image, images /footer 1 .jpg. However, I don't have the image yet, therefore I'm gonna keep this like this, and then later I'm gonna add the image, and I'm gonna give this image a class. So the class is gonna be image fluid, and I'm gonna give it width 25 and height 100 and margin 2, and I'm gonna copy this image, and then I'm gonna paste it many times. I'm gonna here copy it, and then I'm gonna paste it 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need like 4 or 5 images. Let's keep it 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is for this section. Let me save, and let me show you how this is gonna look like. So if I refresh, as you can see here, we will have, this is the first column, and then this is the second column, the third column which contains the information, and then the last column which contains the these small images that are that have been taken by customers. Lastly, I'm going to display the copyright section, which normally comes at the bottom, at the very bottom of the web page. Therefore, here below this, I'm going to create a new div that's going to display the copyright area. So below this div, let me show you this. This div belongs to this row. However, this is going to be outside the row. So outside this row, outside here, but inside the footer, we need to create a new div. Here I'm going to say div, and for this div, first I'm going to give it a class. I'm going to say here class copyright, and I'm going to give it a class called empty 5, which is margin top 5. Inside the div, I want to create a raw div, and then I'm going to say here class raw, and then I'm going to also give it container and margin right and left auto. And inside that div, I want columns. I want to display 3 columns. So for the first column, I'm going to say div here, div, and I'm going to say class is equal to column large 3. For large screens, it's going to take 3 columns. For medium screens, it's going to take 6 columns. For small screens, it's going to take 12 columns. And I'm going to give it also margin bottom 4. So inside this first column, I'm going to display an image, and this image will display the payment image. So I'm going to say here source, and then assets, and then images, and then I'm going to say payment.jpg. Again, I don't have the image yet, but later when I add the image, this is going to look amazing. Next, I'm going to display, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it below, and then I'm going to display the copyright text. So instead of image here, I'm going to remove this image, and instead of this image, I'm going to say P for paragraph, and then I'm going to say here e-commerce, and then I'm going to display the copyright, and then finally, let me first save and show you this before we continue. So if I save and refresh, you'll find that here we'll have, here this is the image, it's empty, and then we have this copyright, and here I'm going to display another part that's going to display font awesome icons about social media icons. So below this, I'm going to copy first I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it below this. However, now I'm going to be using font awesome. So for this, I'm going to remove this paragraph, and then I'm going to add font awesome icons, and these icons will be inside a tags. So I'm going to create the first a tag, and the href is going to be hashtag empty, which means empty, and then I'm going to display Facebook icon, and Instagram, and Twitter, all these social media platforms. I'm going to say here class, and the class for Facebook is FAB, font awesome B, and then FA Facebook, and then I'm going to copy the same exact link, and then I'm going to paste it here, 1 and 2, and let's keep it just simple, 1 2. So the first one is going to display Facebook icon, the second one is going to display Instagram, and the last one is going to display Twitter. Let me now save, and let's head on over to the browser and test. So as you can see now, we will have these icons being displayed here. However, I don't want this text to be divided. I want this page, I want this text to be displayed in one line rather than 2 lines. And to do this, we can here give this a class called text no wrap. This is gonna make the text displayed in one line. So let me here show you this. If I refresh, as you can see, the text will be displayed only in one line. It's not gonna be divided into 2 lines. And also what we want to do is that we want to give this a margin. I'm going to say margin B2, and here margin 4. We are good with this, and that's it for this section. Let me test one more time. So I think this section is complete, and I'm going to work on the CSS of this section. But before I do this, let's work here a little. Let me here fix a few things. First, as I told you here, we need to add some space, and to add some space from the left and right, we can here go back to this section, to the footer section at the top of the footer. And remember, I told you that I'm gonna tell you about a very important thing about the design, which is the container class. Here for this row, which represents this area, if I give this row a container class, container, and if I give it also margin right and left auto, and if I give it margin top 5, guess what's gonna happen? Now if I refresh, the design is gonna look amazing. First of all, a space will be added here from the left and also from the right, and also a space will be added at the top because I said here margin top 5, and here margin right and left will be auto, which means that this section will be displayed in the middle of the screen. So this is exactly what happened. And now this section, now in terms of the CSS, in terms of the HTML, it's complete, and we just need to work on the CSS part of this.